Are we on?
Live!
Yep, we're on. Yes, we're on live TV. I only wish. But hi, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome
Broadcast was
to our
not fun.
broadcast on autism awareness. Why don't I let my guests introduce themselves, starting with Chris.
My name is Chris Bradley, and I'm just a guy. No, I represent Deborah Phillips, Kerrigan Mahan, and several others. And originally I was a fan, and this all just came together. And got my buddy Lance on the line here, Ryan. I've spoke to him numerous times, and I'm just really grateful to be a part of this experience.
And speaking of Deb, we have a special guest.
Oh, is that my turn? Yes, I'm Deb Phillips here in the flesh, live with. Thank you so much, Amanda, for doing this. And yeah, we're here to talk about some autism awareness. But yeah, I was Katie on Power Rangers Time Force, and I'm here with a bunch of really good friends, and we're gonna have some fun today.
Thank you, Lance.
Oh, I'm Lance. I run multiple Facebook pages and stuff, and
More phenomenal.
more phenomenal, including I know it's about autism awareness. Well, I don't have autism, but I've got more issues than Wolverine as team memberships, as my brother once said. And I'm very familiar with mental illness. And my eldest brother actually has Asperger's, which I don't know if they still
It is part of the autism spectrum.
as a form of autism. I think they stopped classifying this a few years.
It is part of the autism spectrum.
Hmm? Okay. I see. Sometimes they decide to not classify stuff, and I was, But yeah, my eldest brother has Asperger's syndrome, and so I'm familiar with autism a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Nate, who is not the host.
That is right. That is right.
So look at his thing.
Yeah, I know.
My tagline today is "Not the host." Yes, I'm Nate, as she said, and I run created LR4. Legend Rangers Forever, and I am admin to Sandy Sellner's Facebook fan page. So yeah, and it's an honor to be here. I mean, I don't have I have special. I mean, I got ADD. I've never been through autism or anything, but I'm here for this cause. So,
Ryan.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Ryan. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, 28 years old. I was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome when I was 11 years old, so I've been living with it pretty much ever since. And I am a president of an honor society for those with learning disabilities, and I also admin for 2 Power Ranger Facebook pages, as well as a nerdy Facebook page known as Nerd Society X, which has been a lot of fun. And autism awareness means so much to me since I am a ASPE. I take it very seriously. I'm there for everyone who needs help, and I'm also a student mentor at the Hussman Center for Adults with Autism, which is where I go to school at Towson University, and it's great, and I love it.
Nice.
Awesome, bro.
Awesome. And I'm Amanda. I am the host of this broadcast. I have high-functioning autism. I am an advocate for autism as well as anti-bullying and suicide prevention, and today I just wanted to help get knowledge to those who are unaware with autism, because there are still a lot of people who think of autism as not a disability but just something not to take seriously, but you really do have to, because now it's 1 in 68 kids that are getting diagnosed with autism every day. So I am going to let Ryan share his personal experiences with autism. So, Ryan?
All right. Like I said before, I was diagnosed when I was 11, so I was going into the 5th grade at the time. I was bullied pretty much every single day. It was brutal. It was worse than a Hell in a Cell match with Mick Foley and The Undertaker. But I got through it. Eventually, once I got older, I accepted myself for who I am. I got more comfortable in my own skin by going to social groups at the Husband Center for Adults with Autism. That's how I learned that I wasn't the only one being bullied and being, I guess in a way, victimized or just having difficulties and struggles and all that stuff. So I realized I wasn't alone and that there were others out there who were going through maybe some things that were worse off than I was. And eventually I became a student mentor through my connections that I established at Towson University, and they've been like family to me, and I'm there every single, we have social groups every 2 Fridays a month, and every time I'm there I make everyone feel welcome, try to help them as best I can. And in the fall, I will become president of Delta Alpha Pi, which, like I said before, is an honor society that celebrates those with learning disabilities, supports those with that. And we have our fundraiser coming up in 2 weeks called Laps for Autism. That's where we raise money that goes towards our programs that we do offer at the Husband Center. And I cannot wait for it. It's going to be a lot of fun. And now that I'm 28 years old, I'm a much happier person. I'm more outgoing, more extroverted than I've ever been before in my life. That's how I've been able to meet so many of you guys at conventions and different events and things of that nature. And I grew up on Power Rangers, and that was one of the things that got me through it. We love you, Jason, because I love the Power Sword and the T-Rex Sword. So that was a lot of fun, a lot of power. It's awesome, and I can't wait to meet more legendary Rangers down the line.
Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, one of the things that we all have in common is like Power Rangers, because when I first got into the Ranger fandom, I was like almost like the outsider looking in until I met one of the actors named Tim DeFilippo, who was the Gold Zeo Ranger from Power Rangers Zeo. And he was aware of autism, and he wanted to find some people to help educate to others and to maybe mentor people with autism. So he kind of helped me get into the right direction of becoming an advocate for autism, and I still do that to this day. In fact, in a matter of 3 weeks, we have an autism walk in a park that's like right close to Warwick, and we walk about 2 to 3 miles, I think. I'm hoping I'm wrong. If it's 5, I'm not going.
Oh, you can do it.
I guess I can. Yeah, it's for the Autism Project in Johnston, and it's a local, not a worldwide for autism. But I know a few people from the Autism Project, and we usually have like activities for the kids, and we talk about like information, how it's updated, and the treatments and education that we're trying to provide to them, because there is still a problem in our education system to deal with people with special needs, and it happened with me growing up because I always needed a one-on-one, but the problem was the school system sometimes didn't really care about what happened to most of them, because when I got into high school, I kind of got assigned to someone that I wasn't supposed to, because my mom said, yeah, but she's in high school, can't she try to do this on her own? They basically just didn't want me to try to be independent or anything like that, but I went through it, and they finally listened. They let me be on my own at the last year of high school, which I did great. But they still kept an eye on me, like, to make sure I didn't do anything wrong, like, to make sure I didn't cause any, like, commotions or anything. And I don't know if that's, like, discrimination but we still have a problem with that in our school systems, and I hope to one day maybe go to different schools and talk to some kids and teenagers about different special needs like autism and ADHD, that sort of thing, so we can help kids and teens understand more about these awarenesses, and so they can help those people in their communities as well. So I'm going to go next to Deb, because one of the things she's doing on her page is you're giving away an autograph?
We gave away.
Yeah, the giveaway. We actually already completed that. It ended on Autism Awareness Day on the 2nd, and we had a winner. So so I'm glad that this was the first time I've ever done anything like that, and I want to do more things like that. because I think it's important for awareness, and I just feel so grateful to be in a position where people are listening to what I have to say. I've never been in this position before. I mean, I've been living a normal life for the past 15 years. So, now that, this has all come about, it's like, you know what, I want people to know who I am and what I'm about, what I believe in. And, part of that has to do with autism. It's near and dear to my heart. My nephew, who's 10 years old, is autistic. And I've watched my sister from the moment he was born. I mean, I saw this child come into this world, and I've seen it. I've seen the process. I've seen my sister have the deer in the headlight syndrome. Like, what is this? The denial, all the phases of that anybody would go through, any parent would go to. Oops, I just lost my earpiece. Sorry. Sorry.
It's okay.
Technical difficulties. Okay, so can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
We can still hear you.
Yeah. So. With that said, I'm passionate about it. So I thought, let me go ahead and do some research and let me see what I can get involved with. And it actually started with the calendars that the girls and I did. We did a calendar, little Power Ranger girl calendar for everybody, and we wanted to make sure that some proceeds did go to some charities. And that's when I was like, okay, charities, well, what am I supporting? And I know autism was something that I'm passionate about. So I started doing my research, and I came across Autism Speaks, along with several other organizations. And I'm not affiliated with any one particular organization. I'm not affiliated with any organization. I'm just a regular person who wanted to figure out a way to raise money in an area that I felt was necessary. So with that said, I reached out to Autism Speaks. Actually, I reached out to a couple different places, and whoever kind of came back to me, and I wanted to really talk to them to see where they were at, because I didn't want to just support any organization just because it's a name. I wanted to really make sure that we were on the same page, and that, this is something that we need to make awareness. There are families that don't know where to start. We need to educate, we need to do this, we need to do that. So I did see there was some backlash with certain organizations, and I did my research, like I said, spoke to the executive director, told them my concerns, and bottom line is I thought that this toolkit that the Autism Speaks has, it's like a 200-page booklet on for like the families that just got a diagnosis and didn't know where to start. And it's kind of like, it's one of those booklets that you would take notes, and something my sister could have used 10 years ago. And with that said, it takes, I think, like $10 for them to print it out and bind it just to give away. But what they wanted to do was make it away, so that families didn't have to worry about purchasing it, but just here, we want to give this to you because we want to help you and support you. And so with that said, I thought, what, let's put a little raffle together, and anybody could donate whatever, because I know things can get a little funny when it comes to, I don't want people to feel obligated to be a part of something. I want them to, support it if they really are passionate about it, and there's no pressure of, okay, a love gift of $25. There's no pressure. It's just, I want to do this, and if people want to be a part of it, great, and if not, that's okay too, but we did it, and, there was a donation to give, and, we had a winner, so yay. Yeah, it was really good. I'll do it again too, if I can, or when I can.
Thank you. And do you have any, like, personal, like, backstories about your nephew, like something you want to share,
Yeah.
like anything?
Oh, so many. His name is Trevor, and my sister, there were some red flags in the beginning when he was a little boy that were a little bit like, okay, is this normal? Because my sister, I spoke to her yesterday just about, just asking her questions, because as a mother, it's different than, me as the aunt, it's just a different situation. And she was telling me that, with autism, it's not something that you could diagnose through a blood test. It's not like that. It's totally behavioral. And, you know, my nephew was demonstrating some of the classic symptoms, I would say early on, and I think it wasn't until maybe around 4 years old that he got kind of the, you know, he is showing signs of autism. And my sister went through the whole denial phase and just like, well, because the thing is back then we didn't really know much about autism. It wasn't like something that you would hear all the time. And at the time of finally kind of hearing a few things here and there, it was a lot of with that oh no type of a thing. And so it's kind of like, okay, well, what is this? And, you know, kind of like that, oh my gosh, is this the end of the world type of a response. But it's because of like how people would refer to it as. So my sister realized that, you know, this is something that she looked into. And of course there were some other folks that were you know, some doctors that would give certain advice and kind of give my sister no hope. Like, you know, this is, you know, he's going to have to need this all his life. You're going to have to put him in here. And it was just a lot for my sister to deal with. And so she's an amazing woman. She went and did her research. As a matter of fact, she did utilize Autism Speaks back then, and they provided her with a lot of resources. She, as a parent, is very proactive and very involved with her son, and she would not take no for an answer. You know, there would be some doctors that would say, you know what, prescribe him, put him on this, put him on that, and you know, she would go through the whole, you know, now her kid is medicated for what? So why was he on that? So that, you know, he would be tolerant for you? Like, why are we putting him on all these medications? And now my nephew has a very rare condition in addition to autism. He has a condition called SCAD, which is very rare. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of it, but it's actually I think a protein deficiency where he has trouble breaking down protein, where it could actually be fatal. Like, he actually can, you know, get very sick. And when he was very little, that was the first thing that was kind of like a red flag. Like, what's going on? He was very sick, had to go to the hospital, little things where his digestion was off. And the symptoms with SCADs are very similar to autism. So my sister said something interesting yesterday. She had mentioned that a lot of times with people that have autism, they also have another disorder, which could be Tourette's or ADD or, you know, something else that could either trigger the autism or it goes hand in hand. She was mentioning something like that to me. So with her son, we don't know if the SCADs is what was, you know, it kind of led to this, or I don't know. But she because of who my sister is, and she's a very hands-on mom, and she does her research, and she's very proactive, and she is very involved with her son, and she's in the education system as well. Like, she teaches and all of this other stuff. But she, yeah, her son is thriving. You know, he has his challenges, but they have adapted to, you know, who he is, and we wouldn't change that for the world, you know. So yeah, so that's kind of important to me. You know, it's not about, you know, people. I don't want people. You're right, Amanda, about we need to educate people on what this is, because we don't want, you know, people to think of autism as something that we're trying to find necessarily a cure, like we want to fix people or whatnot. It's a way of adapting. It's a way of, I would never change my nephew. You know, he is who he is. He has his personality. You know, it's about now just adapting, making him able to function in society with where he's at, you know, and we need to educate people, because that's where bullying comes in, and that's where suicide comes in, and, you know, people that struggle with these disorders, other kids don't understand what's going on, so they're going to make fun of them, and that's something that I don't tolerate. I'm definitely an advocate on the whole. I anti-bullying all day long. I don't tolerate that, and
I
so
can
with all
attest
that
to
said, I
that,
think
her reactions to
educating
bullying
people.
stories.
Yeah.
I second that.
Yes, amen to that. Like, it's just, it's from the beginning of time, you know, like, you know, why? Because you're different, so we're just gonna, you know, your way is not right, you're not normal. Like, what does that mean? I mean, there's so many people that have autism that are, in my opinion, geniuses. To me, they use a different part of their brain that maybe somebody like me won't use. So it's like people need to really be open-minded and have respect for other people, like, at the end of the day. So Yeah, so I'm pretty big on that. But yeah, my nephew, he has his ways. He has his routines. He has his, he has the classic symptoms. He's a very picky eater, which part of the SCAD is, he's a very, so that's kind of, but then again, that could be anything. But he has his routines where he will do his certain things, and if he gets thrown off, and that's another part of educating people, because you never know if we might be triggering somebody to have, to be upset by maybe saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing, and then they start to have, some kind of a response that we don't understand, and then next thing you know, we don't know. Like, it's just, so it's about getting the word out and really making an awareness. I mean, this is something that it's prevalent. It's just like, you said 1 out of 68 people a day. That's a lot. We need to embrace every person that comes into this world, regardless of what they have or who they are. And it really starts with education. Parents need to talk to their kids. Teachers need to talk to the students. We can't not be we can't be oblivious to what's going on. So it's important. We got to get that word out. So I really, I think every single one of you guys are doing is amazing. So keep that up for sure.
Thank you. Actually, I'm going to head towards something on my desktop to actually show of a little bit of facts about autism. Can anyone see that?
There we go.
Yes.
I posted this.
Nice.
I posted this on my hold on, I lost it. There we go. I posted this on my Instagram page about like maybe a week ago, and this is like the newly updated on autism, like spectrum. Anything like people with autism may experience like sensitivity to light, color, and sound. Then there's 1 in 68 kids are diagnosed with autism in the United States alone. Then people with autism are especially vulnerable to bullying. Nearly 2/3 are reported. So we need to get that updated like very soon.
Oh, wow.
Then many people on the autism spectrum experience some challenges, but they also have unique strengths and abilities too. Like even though we have like a disability, we can have like special gifts that go with it too. Like one of the things that goes with autism is like the need to like repeat things, and I use that to like when I'm in musical theater. So whenever I have to learn a line, whenever I have to learn a or music, I have to listen to it over and over and over again, say it after it again and again and again, and it actually helps because then I know what I'm doing and then I go on stage. And then the next thing is about water safety education is crucial to keeping people with autism safe, because half of them are reported like with like wandering to safety, that sort of thing. And this is the last one. I find this really, really hard to believe, but autism costs a family $60,000 per year. That's like buying 2 cars every year.
Only medications, therapy,
I really find that hard
driving to therapy, and so a lot of that, finding the right programs.
Wow.
60,000. What do you guys say on that?
Well, I mean, I think I agree with what Lance had to say about that, because the thing is, I mean, it does cost. I mean, because when you're spending so much money on medication, like Ritalin or any type of medication that tries to help them, because when you have like a disability, like ADD, autism, that's when they get distracted, that's why they spend money on Ritalin to keep them focused on what they're doing. Because back then, I mean, I used to have to be on that type of medicine a long time ago because I got distracted. I mean, I still get distracted from this day because that's why, I mean, I don't drive. I get worried that, I'll be distracted on the road and I would accidentally, cause an accident or cause harm to myself. So that's probably what they meant by money. I mean, I don't know if it's that amount, but it probably is a lot because, I mean, probably not even that amount. I mean, it's probably not that amount itself, but it does cost money if you want to try to, just for like medication alone and therapy, as Lance said, and
and finding the right medication.
Oh yeah, exactly. I
Just you
mean,
gotta
Oh
pay
my
a
God,
copay
yeah,
each
Oh
time someone
yeah,
writes
for
a new
sure.
prescription, and it's like
back
this medication doesn't work. 6 weeks later, try this one.
and
back
that,
Oh
then,
wow.
like back then, my mom had to take me from all the way across Rhode Island to California for a specific doctor, then go back all the way to Rhode Island, California, Rhode Island, California, Rhode Island, and I'm like, hey, at least I'm getting trips out of this. But I
but
was a kid.
how many? Wait,
Frequent flyer
how
miles.
many? How
Flyer
many? Wait, how many hours were you guys driving, or were you guys flying?
flying,
Flying.
thank God.
Flying?
Okay, yeah, you'd be
Wow.
saving money by flying because the
Oh
gas
my
and wear and
God,
tear on the
if I
car.
had to
Yeah.
drive all the way
Still,
there, I would have gotten nuts.
still, if you're spending a lot of money flying, it still costs a good amount of money in a way. But
A plethora of money.
yeah,
But then my mom realized it wasn't worth it anymore, so she stopped and just went to a local doctor here in Rhode Island.
Mm.
You
But
know
I mean,
the
but
bullying thing. Oh, go ahead.
it's like you're putting this person on a medication, and then that doesn't work. So you put them on another one, and then you put them on another one, and you put them on another one. Well, nobody. I mean, that's the answer to everything nowadays. But nobody puts into perspective what is that doing to that person's body.
exactly.
My
You're
liver's
Right.
probably gonna die in 20 years because of mine.
Oh my goodness, it's horrible.
What do you think?
That's what
Estimating.
my sister, that's what she was going through with her little boy. Medication after medication after, and these nurses are, yes, this is what he needs. And she would be, oh my goodness, my nephew,
has a side effect.
literally.
Each
Yeah,
medication
this
has
is side effect.
Exactly. I mean,
Absolutely.
no,
My,
As a matter of fact, my nephew, wide awake for the day at 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, bouncing off the walls because that's the medication. It would do that, and that was normal. And my sister has to be up at work and open a school at 6 in the morning, and this is what she's been doing for years. And so they switched the medication, and then now he's completely sedated, and he falls asleep at school. And it's just like, so my sister had home school, or like had some people come to the house that had special needs, and he would do his curriculum, and so this is where all this money is going to. And so it's kind of, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
Oh yeah, my brother was
Yeah.
tried on Strattera, and that made him sleepwalk. It was tried on me, and it made me more aggressive.
yeah.
So
But it
Right.
goes back to what Deborah was saying. Deborah was saying, we need to find out a way to adapt. And instead of, finding a medication, I mean, look back years ago. I look in my generation. I don't know everyone's age, but I think Ryan, I'm 29, so you're in my age bracket. But if you look back years ago when we were kids, I mean, it was all about picking up for the community, teamwork, everybody working together, nobody discriminated, and all of that's gone out the window. I mean, it's all medication, bullying is at an all-time high, and everybody's worried about things that are going on elsewhere, and there's other issues going on. Look at the home base and the kids and people with autism that are being affected by these small things of not being paid attention to. If it goes back to Amanda's chart, where only a percentage of that what was accounted for the bullying. That just tells you right there, nobody's paying attention. It's time to open the eyes and start paying attention to these people.
And the bullying
Yeah.
can be from teachers as well. My
Yes.
my brother with Asperger's, he wanted to, or his teacher wanted him to write a report on something that was more abstract. Well, he can't really comprehend a lot of the abstract stuff. He has to work on the more concrete things. Well, because he couldn't comprehend it, she called him stupid in the class.
My God.
Which prior to that, I had been having issues with crying spells. Same school system, I might add. They didn't want to do anything to the teachers and everything, so, because it's one of those things that, the teachers aren't educated, and so when the teachers have no knowledge on it, their ignorance becomes, bigotry on it, and then that causes a lot of issues with the children, the families, my mom would cry about this, and she would get angry. I swear my mom would have brought it to the Tennessee State Supreme Court if she needed to take care of us, because that's just how awesome my mom is.
Mhm.
But, you know, when you're bullied through that, teacher does it, then the students do it, and it's insane how much it happens. And then, you know,
There's
another thing, you mentioned earlier, it is a disability. A lot of people don't realize that. Well, with my mental issues, you know, I suffer from anxiety, depression, rage, and
Mhm.
well, according to my therapist, my binge eating is actually an eating disorder because of it started when my depression started to really form. And so I suffered through that, and it took me having to quit a job because of anxiety and being fired from a job because of some stuff related to my anxiety to admit that it is a disability. Now, it being a disability doesn't mean that I can't do anything. I mean, it just means you have to find what you can do. My brother is a truck driver. He is happy doing that. It is his passion. He's got his own semi truck that he's paying on each month. He's got a wife, and you know, he's happy with what he's doing. That's the thing about mental disabilities. A lot of them you can't work, but you can still be happy in life to some extent. It's just you've got to admit if you are being disabled by it, it's not admitting defeat. It is admitting that you need help. And it took me so long. I'm 23 years old. I've been dealing with these issues since 2001, and it was 2015 that I finally admitted, you know what? I didn't get the help I needed throughout the years, and I need to actually start working on it better because it is a disability. More people have to realize it's a disability, but not defeat.
and people,
Right.
it's the lack of devotion uh, lately. Um, if you know when I run into anyone, even when I was in school, they had several people with autism, but I never knew it because it's how I brought up. I treated everybody equally. If I wanted to have a conversation with you, I was going to have a conversation with you, and majority of the time they would open my eyes to all different types of things. They would open my eyes to like cool science stuff that we would get into, and we'd be able to. There was one kid that we would talk biology for hours,
Mm.
and I just loved talking to him about it because we could just. I guess the cool term nowadays is geek out about biology. I mean, we were just literally just there talking for hours, but then you would run into the issues of people bullying him, and some of the peers and teachers would just stand there. It's going on right in front of them, and that's where I got in trouble because I just, I wasn't gonna have that. So I won't go into that. But
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
but I mean, it's all about just treating everyone equally, and you
Hmm.
know, when you run into anyone, especially at a Comic Con or Power
Oh,
Ranger,
my goodness.
and me and Deborah, we talk on a regular basis to where it's going back to the whole Power Ranger thing. Uh, Power Rangers, it was that unity. It's part of that teamwork and that group of teenagers that they were so different than everyone else in high school because they were taking care of their community and they were treating everybody the same. They were taking out the bullies or the space aliens or whatever, how you want to put it. But that's what me and Deborah are trying to get back. I mean, whether it's going and creating awareness for this, going to high schools, like Amanda was saying, like that's a great idea.
I
These
love
kids,
that idea.
some of
Yeah,
these
I'm thinking of actually going back to school to get my communication certificate to help me out with it.
yeah,
Yeah,
More power to you then.
some of these kids
definitely.
nowadays, they, in high school and stuff. I know my son, he knows all about Power Rangers because of me, but it's like if a Power Ranger went there and all the high school kids nowadays are like, well, okay, a Power Ranger's here. But what is that Power Ranger there for?
Mm.
And
Yeah,
that's when we create this awareness and stuff, and it's literally like all the things that show was meant to be, we
Mhm.
actually get out there and start doing.
And
Yeah.
one thing about it is a lot of people, they're interested in some stuff because it helps them out, like with Power Rangers. It teaches teamwork and everything. A lot of people are embarrassed. They're like, it's like, oh, what are you into? Power Rangers. You got to accept what you're into because, like, my eldest brother, he's passionate about diesel engines and stuff.
Oh.
I mean, he could spot he could spot a certain school bus from 100 yards away and be like, that's so and so model. Well, a lot of people might be like, well, that's weird. It's like, that's what he's into. And it's really interesting to see what people are into. That's part of accepting who you are, and that's part of what mental illness is. You got to accept who you are so that you can fight your issues.
Yeah, one of the things about autism is that people with autism, they have specific likes and interests. Like, they will talk about it over and over because that's what they like. They want to get other people interested in it. Like, we all like Power Rangers, and I also like Castle and other things too.
Oh yeah. Yes, she always reminds us at the end of the show every time of LR4. She's always like, "Hey, she has Castle." I'm like, "Okay, all right, whatever, go ahead."
By the way, I missed Castle this week thanks to my grandmother because of her poker. Thanks a lot.
But, I mean, I'll agree with you on this definitely about bullying, because bullying, I mean, it still happens from this day. And the thing is, I mean, like Power Rangers brings us together because of what we like and what we can, communicate with. Because that's about teamwork and about, helping your fellow man or helping your fellow women or anybody. That's the thing. And, the thing is, people, I like to say, I mean, you don't have to like what other people like. You can show respect for them. Okay, that's cool. I mean, you like that, it's fine. Like, for instance, some people like guys, some people like My Little Pony. I'm not into My Little Pony, but that's their thing. I mean, that doesn't bother me. I mean, I'm not gonna say, oh, you're messed up. I'm like, it's just not my thing, But I mean, like Dragon Ball Z. I mean,
to his punching bag.
The thing is, it's just that I mean, a lot of people like different things, and when I came up with LR4, I wanted to bring. It was starting off small. It was the original group, Amanda, Richard, Derek, and Danielle. We started off, and Christina. We started off as that group, and then I wanted to build on that, adding more people to be involved, because I like talking about Power Rangers and what impacted on us. I mean, because I say this like a broken record. We are the veteran fans, going on to pass on the next generation of fans, and this show's been on for
since 1993.
Yeah, and
23 years.
Yeah, it's gonna be the 23rd year this August.
Which is crazy.
I mean,
we're getting old.
Hey, I'm 30. I'm getting to that age.
Hey, age is just a number.
She's getting old. She and I have gone over this many times.
I just turned 25 this Wednesday.
I turned 24 this coming July.
Thank you.
Yeah, happy birthday. But yeah, don't talk about getting old. I've gotten on to Deb already. Like,
Deborah doesn't age, though.
Like, no, you're not.
That's the thing. With some of the Power Ranger actors, they don't age.
Yeah, just like Deborah. She doesn't age.
What's your secret? You gotta cryogenic.
You don't age, Deborah, ever.
Deb's secret is always smiling and just enjoying life.
That's the benefit about being on Time Force. We're all about the time.
Oh my God, you can go back in time and change your...
Technically, I wasn't even born yet.
Yeah.
It's not 3,000 yet.
I know. I have so much to see.
Really, time's really dragging on.
Yeah, no, we need to get that time ship, man.
Speaking of the Power Rangers, do any of you know about the PR quotes that LR4 does?
Yes. I should.
Well, one of the things I do is I take pictures from Power Rangers and I take some of their quotes and turn them into PR quotes photos that I post on Instagram, and this is the one that I actually want to show because this is actually one of my favorite episodes from Time Force.
Oh boy.
Oh no way. Oh, is that Kevin? Wait, I see him.
Yep.
Stand up.
The green hair. I still love that.
Right, everyone, write down and let her speak so it'll show up. All right.
This is the from the episode where Trip is saving one of the mutants because he doesn't want to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that episode.
Yeah, it's amazing. I love it.
And one of my favorite scenes from that episode when they got cornered by Eric, and he's just basically like, you think they deserve the same justice we do? And like they're not even human, like he's a freak, and then Trip starts to take a stand for that because he's also not human. He's also someone with like special powers and such.
Exactly, he's an alien.
And one of the things he says is the thing I wrote in this quote: "I'm not afraid to stand up for what's right. If we don't do it, then who will?"
Ooh, that's great. Love it.
That's so good.
Yeah, Kevin.
I love that.
Yeah,
yes. I told Kevin. Kevin was my favorite. He was my favorite Time Force Ranger. He really was, like, my favorite character because he was so sweet and he was different, and yet he was just okay. Honestly, really, Trip and Katie, brains and brawns, you guys, really. Let's keep it real.
I'm just saying, Trip and Katie got married in year 3000 later on. That's my canon.
They were.
Fan fiction.
No, but in the Super Sentai series, the yellow and green were kind of close friends.
Yeah, and the thing is, they were like, in time. I mean, Deborah's character as Katie, she was like a big sister to Trip.
Mm-hmm.
They had like a brother and sister relationship.
Yeah, but friend zone you can kind of break through.
Oh yeah. With her character, if you watch the episodes, she was like, for instance, like when the very first episode of Time Force, where Lucas is telling him, "I thought that you Zamarians can see the future," or something like that, and then she tells him to lay off of him because she's sticking up for him because it's not his fault. He can't do everything. There's only certain times he can do that. And back what I was saying about the Power Rangers, we as fans have grown up to love this series since 1993, and it still goes on strong. There's certain seasons that people don't like. Certain seasons, I can understand that. Me, I like them all because they're unique, they're different. There's certain things they could fix, they could do. But, at the end of the day, it's like, you know what? You get what we get. You got to live with it. Move on to the next one, and then, he's got a lightsaber.
I was going to say, is there a Jedi in this academy?
Now we're talking about autism, Power Rangers, and now Star Wars.
It all goes hand in hand.
You mentioned about Katie standing up for it, and it's like, well, when after I'd already started to get to know Deb, she had already become like a big sister to me after a few months. I watched Time Force through, and then it's like I see how Katie stands up for people. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly how she is. Someone is being bullied. She's instantly like, where are they? It's kind of an instant.
Take a Chrono Saber to that bully.
Oh no, me and Deb were talking on Facebook one time, and I told her about some of my issues and stuff about bullies. She's like, where are they? Because she forgets that, it's like I grew up in Tennessee a long time ago. Calm down, because it's just one of those things. You instantly, especially if you've seen a lot of this stuff firsthand, you definitely want to help out, and it's it's touching. It's touching to see that.
I have no tolerance for bullies, none whatsoever. I have to calm myself down, but I have no tolerance for bullies. And back to the education, of what we need to do. It does start, there's so many areas where it needs to start, but the parents obviously raising your children not to make fun of people, that would be a great start. Yeah. But unfortunately, we're living in a world where bullies are there, and we need to really, I love the idea about talking to schools. I've always wanted to do that. Even when I was on Power Rangers, I wanted to go to my old high school.
I might want to do that.
Never happened. Yeah, I really think that's important because high school's tough. Junior high that's a really rough age for a lot of kids. But
that's
also,
where I ended
aside
up
from
having
the
to be pulled out of
education,
school for a while.
Aside from the educational, school systems, what about the police officers and things like that? They need to be educated as well, because you never know if somebody's coming at you aggressively. They might be on a spectrum, and if somebody of the law has these weapons, as we know. Some people are a little trigger happy these days. You never know. We just everybody needs to be educated. Everyone. the hospital systems, the police, law enforcement, the schools. I mean, this is serious. A lot of things could be prevented. A lot of unnecessary violence could be eliminated if people just understood what this is, and what's going on, and knew how to talk to somebody who might be, going on a, I wouldn't even know what to call it, but I mean, I've seen my nephew having his episodes where, my sister knows exactly how to calm him down. I mean, like, if somebody didn't know, you never know, like, what can happen. And like, I'm very against bullying, and even being with my nephew and watching, like, if I see anybody looking at him differently, I get so offended. I just don't understand how people can do that. I don't understand it. I don't, and I know that we can't control everybody, but it does start with what we're doing right now, talking about it, and just think if everybody did something, it can make a huge difference. So. But yeah, law enforcement, that's kind of important,
Going along with that, Deborah, some of the things we're doing here in my home state of Maryland is that we have Pathfinders for Autism, where they have people who go out and speak to different local police departments in and around the area, and they teach them how to, I guess, take care of those who have autism and how to handle the situation and be very delicate with them, because like I said, every person with autism is different. Everyone is different, so you gotta take that into account. So some of the things that they're doing is talking to the local police officers, the firemen, the ambulances, paramedics, all that jazz. And they're talking to them. They're showing them a movie called Be Safe, the movie, which educates those on how to handle those kind of situations. And that's one of the I'm not going to say it's that way for everybody, but for me here in Maryland, they're doing wonderful, wonderful things. So in a way, we're moving in the right direction at this point.
That's amazing. See, it starts somewhere. I'm so glad.
One thing that needs to happen is breaking the stigma about mental issues, because I'm sure some of you can attest to this as well, that when you have a breakdown of any kind, say it's at work or school, then you go in the next day, even if people aren't judging you, you just feel this embarrassment, because there's the whole stigma about having an anxiety attack or any kind of breakdown. It is the most embarrassing feeling ever, even though you shouldn't be embarrassed, because things just happen.
Right.
Speaking about bullying and autism, I wanted to share this video quick and then get into share a story that one of the fans just messaged me about. His name's Michael. But does anyone remember the Ice Bucket Challenge?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Does anyone remember what happened between an autistic kid and bullies who tricked him into the Ice Bucket Challenge?
No.
No.
Vaguely.
I've never heard this.
Watch this.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Patricia Heaton, and Bay Village is my hometown. Bay High was my high school, and I still have family there. I am really saddened by the bullying incident involving the Ice Bucket Challenge. It is heartbreaking, and it is not my Bay Village. My Bay Village is filled with heroes, those heroes that organized the rally the other Friday and called for tolerance and kindness and respect and love. You are not alone, they said. We stand beside you. And I think we all have to stand beside every child, teen, and adult with autism or any disability. Our differences are what make us beautiful, and each one is a part of that rich patchwork quilt that is America. So maybe we can take this incident and turn it around. Maybe we can take that beautiful patchwork quilt and wrap ourselves in it and bask in its warmth and admire its beauty. That is my Bay Village, where kindness is a way of life. The Dalai Lama said, "Be kind whenever possible. It is always possible." That is the truth. If you'd like any more information, you can go to autismspeaks.org. And thank you very much.
Interesting.
So basically what happened is, because she didn't explain the whole thing, what happens was these teens tricked this kid with autism into doing the Ice Bucket Challenge, because obviously it was big in the day, because it's like donating to ALS, that sort of thing.
Right.
Which I did myself. Never doing that again.
Oh.
That was an interesting
Oh.
experience.
But what happened was when they were ready to do the ice bucket challenge, when they dumped what the kid thought was water on him, it wasn't water at all.
Oh, I remember hearing about this on the news.
What?
I'm not gonna tell what was in the bucket at the time, but I
Bodily
can tell you
fluids,
this.
just say that.
I can tell you this: the teens were arrested and charged with what they did because what was in that bucket could have actually killed the kid.
Oh, that's wrong.
What? Oh my gosh! Why on earth would somebody do that? Oh
Because
my
people are
goodness,
cruel.
that's crazy.
People are sick, some very sick when they do that kind of stuff.
I wouldn't give those people the right to be called people.
Oh,
For that kind of thing.
We'll call them putty patrollers.
Amanda,
I was like saying, call the putty patrollers. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, just call them some sort of monster of some kind.
are these kids? These were kids that did this to another kid?
These were teens that I don't know if this was either a kid or a teen, but I do know that the person did have autism spectrum, and the kid thought it was like, oh, we're gonna like do this for ALS. He had no idea what was about to come when they poured the bucket on him.
Oh, so wrong.
Some of it was caught on video, but I think a lot of people deleted it because of what happened afterwards.
Right.
And I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'd rather not watch a video that's that sad.
I know, like it's all with the parenting too, because I know my kid, that thought would never go in his head to do something like that to somebody. But these kids nowadays, the things that come in their head, you know, whether it be from TV or the pop culture nowadays, I mean, to just do something like that, it's unheard of. It's unheard of.
Yeah, we need to do more about that so this doesn't repeat itself again.
Yeah.
But getting on to Michael's story, he messaged me. He wanted to tell his story about ADHD, which has a similar trait to autism because it's like they have a lot of hard time paying attention to certain things, which I won't get into the story of how much I have not paid attention to my family once in a while. But
it happened.
But Michael wrote this: when I was born, my biological mother was a drug addict, and at 3, I was diagnosed with ADHD. It made me very hyper, and I didn't do well in school sometimes. I couldn't talk to anyone about it because I was afraid to be judged. Also, I was bullied for having a disability. And that's basically what he said. What do you guys think about that?
Oh.
It's tough.
Oh, my
it really
goodness.
is. Life is not easy. It's tough.
Yeah, I know a thing or two about being bullied for that stuff.
What was his name?
Michael. I'm trying to get the last name. Borgandon?
Michael. And how old is Michael now? Do we know?
I don't know. I just got a message from this, so I would have to.
Oh, okay. Well, Michael might be tuning in right now. So, yeah, Michael, thank you first of all for even sharing that.
All it says is he's from Staten Island, New York.
New York.
Wow. Okay. Well, that was. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, it's horrendous. Like that is just that's real. I mean, my heart goes out to anybody who would endure. You know, it's not fair. It's not. And you know, yeah, we need to be more bold about those experiences. I mean, Lance, I know you've shared a lot of stories that have happened to you, and you know, it starts with just opening up and talking about it, and you know, feeling safe and comfortable. I mean, it's unfortunate. We've got people in this world that are designed to bring you down, period. All of us go through it in our own way, and it's unfortunate. Some have it worse than others because they're different. And oh my god, I'm trying to contain myself, but it just makes me so angry to hear anything.
Breathe,
like
heavy, breathe.
You know, I wish there was something I could do. Like, I wish I could morph right now and handle business.
You know,
I need to go back with Chrono Saber.
Maybe, but violence is not how we're going to solve this problem.
I actually,
Sorry.
you know,
The helmet
I
and
was
the
bullied.
index would help.
I was bullied when I was 8. I was starting to have crying spells, just crying uncontrollably, and Well, my third grade teacher decided to start calling me crybaby and big baby. Oh, back in my day, we'd put you in the corner with the dunce hat, and oh, you need a bottle and all this stuff. Well, that ended up getting the other students to join in on her charade, and the principal didn't do anything about it, and I guess they were like, she's retiring after this year. We don't want to take her retirement away. It's like, if you're bullying someone like that, you don't deserve your retirement.
Yeah, I mean,
simply fired or replaced with a sub for the rest of the year.
Lance, let me chime in here for that. I mean, that is ridiculous because if teachers are going to treat students like that they don't deserve to be a teacher. They don't need to be in that profession.
Thank you.
There are still some cases where some do.
And the thing is, why would you get in a profession like that if you can't understand, or if you want to you're going to be worse than the kids that are treating them that way. That's terrible.
Aren't the teachers supposed to lead by example in a way?
Exactly.
Thank you.
But nowadays, it's so much more.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If I'll tell you right now. If anybody did that to, I'm not married, I don't have a kid, but if anybody did that to even to my friend's kid, because I'm really good with my friend, and she has a little kid, and when she starts school, you get worried about those kind of things. If they have a disability, you don't know. You get worried, especially if how they're going to get treated from the teacher and stuff. And the thing is, that's wrong. Back then, because I was in special ed my whole life when I was a teenager, up to when I was a senior in high school, and being around people with Down syndrome and stuff like that. Okay, I understand. It does get frustrating. It's hard not to deal with. You gotta understand, though. You gotta be patient. Sometimes I didn't agree with how teachers acted towards the students. Like, they yell at them. You don't. They have the mind of a child, and that's not gonna help them. I remember, not gonna mention any names. When I had to do speech, I remember one person would yell at me, and I got upset because that's kind of ridiculous. You do not yell at the person for doing something, for messing up on something, just for one thing, and you get frustrated. And I remember when I had to go to summer school, I went through that thing too. The guy pretty much called me told my mom, wrote a letter saying I was incompetent because he didn't know I had a disability. But whether if I had a disability or not, you don't talk to another kid about another student like that. Okay? There's certain things when you're in a profession of being a teacher, you've got to learn to handle it better. You don't treat your students like that. Okay, there might be that typical student that you're not going to like, because nobody's going to like anybody. Nobody's going to like everybody, but you should respect them and treat them like you would want to be treated. And that's the thing with this world. And, with autism, with Down syndrome, with ADD, anything, anybody being... I saw that, Ryan. But anyway, and I think the problem is, a lot of people, like Amanda, people are still getting bullied from this day, and that's horrible.
I still get discriminated when I'm at work.
Right, and that's wrong. That's wrong. And I know, and the thing is, okay, I understand that, it's work. There's going to be people you're not going to like, but at the same time, when you're being treated like that, that's not fair. And the thing is, with me, and, it's not, I feel bad for what people go through. Because with Amanda, she goes through some tough times, and I'm going to say this right now. There have been situations Amanda's been through with online and stuff, and she...
I might post about that soon, but not to get into what actually happened, but some people in the fandom did attack me, but I did fought back.
Yeah, and the thing is, I can understand that. And the thing is, I understand when Amanda... I tell Amanda, when somebody says something, I tell her this all the time. I never want her to... anything to come back at her, because she's my friend and I care about her. I told her this one time. I said, there's some certain things, because then it eggs on the person. And then, when somebody said something on another, I'm not going to mention any names, when somebody said something on another person's page, and, that started up a rise, and I said, you know what? You should let them be involved. When I talk to Amanda, I never yell at her, because I'm not that type of person. I just tell her, I'm there for her because I worry that I don't want her to get treated bad because me and her. I met her back in 2012, back at PMC3.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know each other that well, and then we started, like she said, Tim DeFilippo started this group known as the Gold Team, which involved talking about we were trying to get him out there and representing um, a lot of anti-bullying and autism and everything like that back then, and the thing is, what Amanda's doing is very, very great. Standing up for what she believes in.
I'd give her a gold star right now.
Yeah, and the thing is, a lot of people, they're saying, police officers are heroes because what they do. But, I'll say this right now, Amanda, what you do, you are a real hero too, because you are doing what you believe in, and you're trying to be there for somebody. You don't need a cape, you don't need any spandex or anything like that. You are a superhero in your own right.
Yeah, because I'm not putting back those spandex on again.
But but the truth is, you're doing what you believe in, and that's why I'm proud to have you a part of LR4 because you are a great person and you do great things in this type of community in this fandom. And I know we all know that this fandom is crazy. We all know this. We hear a lot of stuff. It's crazy. It's just that people have their opinion.
Get along.
Yeah, the thing is,
And
people
many
have
people for bullying on Orphan on the Line.
yeah, and the thing is, people have their opinion, and there are times, I do go, I'm like, okay, you're going a little over the top with your opinion. Like, let me backtrack. Like, for instance, some people could say, oh my God, this is ruining, oh man, they just really ruined Power Rangers for me because of this season or that season. It's like, you don't have to like a certain season. I like all seasons because of their uniqueness. There are certain things I think they could do better, but that's what you keep. There's certain things. Everybody's got their opinion.
And here comes Critic Nate.
Yeah, I do. I do have my opinion. Like, for instance, my opinion on things, I don't bash anybody for their opinion. I just think, if I like it, that matters to me because I liked it. And I just don't think, people, and it just goes around in a circle with people being bullied. And that's kind of my example here because in this fandom I love how you mentioned that right now, Amanda. But I think and the thing is what's really great about this, when we meet the cast members at Power Morphicon or any convention, we're not just fans. We become
family.
We become a family. We make a friendship with them. The thing is, some of us, we get nervous. We don't get all fan
Starstruck.
Yeah, starstruck. And go, oh
I
my
kind
God.
of did when I first got to the first PMC.
Well, that's your first experience. That's the first thing. Like for instance, when I first, me and like friends. Here's another example. As I said, I am an administrator for Sandy Sellner. If you guys don't know who she is, which I'm sure you guys do, she
Really
was
nice
the
person.
suit actress of Alpha 5 through season 2 through season 3.
Who's
And-
Alpha?
Oh, really?
You're wearing the hat, Chris. Come on, man.
Come on, hello, Green Ranger.
No excuses, Chris.
Yeah, but the thing is, I've talked to her a lot, and she's a great person, and she loves, and she wanted to get out there to talk to her fans, and now she's doing conventions. And the day I finally got to meet her at Lexington, my plan was to volunteer, but I never got heard back from the guy. But I'm like, you know what? My friend had this great idea. We would go one day. My friend Richard, he's from LR4 as well. We would go one day, but then it ended up building up to 2 days, so that was great. And when I got there, I was like, I'm gonna look for her. I'm on a mission before I go anywhere else, visit anybody else. I am going to look to find out where Sandy is so I can finally meet her in person. And I finally did, and that was a great experience. And then I met Miss Deborah. I saw her there.
That's great.
She's
awesome.
Yeah. Oh, that was Lexington. This last time was the first time you met Sandy.
Yeah, I've talked to her over the phone. I've talked to her online.
That's cool.
We never actually got to meet each other in person because she's been, she hasn't started doing conventions since last year. She started her first one in her official convention she started was in Canada, which was Hamilton Comic Con. I think that's what it's called.
Oh,
So she was
yeah.
with Sandy and all that. And so yeah, so that's what she did. And when I met Deborah, I remember what you said, Deborah. Like, you're like, oh hey, what's your name again? I'm like it's Nate. And then I'm like this, and I point to the bracelet because I had this bracelet made from MMPR Creations, and I went the bracelet over. Oh yeah. I'm like, well, I just wanted to come up and say hi and see how you're doing, and also to give tell you that Amanda says hi because Amanda was part of the.
With Deb. You get in conversation with her, she'll keep you on forever.
Oh no, there's nothing wrong with that. And the thing is,
I'm kidding, Deb. I'm kidding.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious though.
She gives great hugs too.
I remember when I gave her when I shook her hand or something as a joke.
Nope.
As a joke, I went like this. I went, man, that Katie strength. Ooh. You got some strength on it.
It is hilarious. I met her at Kamikaze last year. She's like, "Is that Lance?" I'm like, "Hey, Deb."
You know, it's so funny. I was like, based off of your profile picture, I recognized you right away. And same with you, Nate, and you, Ryan. I was like, it's like I got starstruck. I was like, I know these people.
It's not like I'm Superman or anything, but you
It's
just
like the
walked
other
up
way
to me and gave me
around.
the biggest hug ever.
Yeah.
My friend Joe was doing an interview with her for that hashtag show, and my video came out. She's like, it's Lance, and I geeked out when I saw that video. Joe saved it for Christmas because he knew that would be a Christmas present to me, basically, because I mean, that's awesome. But then you realize that she's this great person who's always going to advocate for helping people out, and it's amazing.
Stand united, never quit.
Never quit, never give up, always help people.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
with that, we're about at the end reel of this broadcast. Does anyone have any last things they want to say?
Just that we love you, Deborah. You're
Oh.
awesome, and I can't wait to see you at the next Lexington, hopefully next year.
Oh my
And,
goodness! I hope
here's-
so.
okay.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Oh my
they
gosh,
better bring
it's
you
so
back.
great to see you guys. Oh my gosh, this was so much fun. But I do want to say, I have my morpher, Nate. I see you with the morpher. Do you want to morph?
Oh gosh.
Let me set this. We gotta do this. Let me get this. Let me get up there.
You got the right camera angle, man.
now.
Should we turn
Chris
it
is
on?
starstruck now, man.
I got.
Stop.
Hold on. Let's just.
I
let me
know,
try
but
to-
1, 2, 3. Well, there's 6 of us, so it's like, we could
I
all do
don't-
it.
I don't know
actually.
the
We can have,
whole
like, a little.
hand-
I do have mine. It's sitting in my arm
I
warmer right
can't
now.
do it.
Let me see if
One
I
thing
can.
I want to say is if there happens to be any bullies that do watch this broadcast, I see you.
Yeah.
I want to say,
You're making it seem like Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, gee Willikers. I hope it's not that movie.
I want to say that
I have that
any of
effect on a
you,
lot of people.
any of you who are dealing with any mental illness or know someone who is, look, you're not alone. I know that suicidal thoughts might come to your head, but it's not worth it. It's a permanent solution to a temporary problem, and you've got a lot of support. Frankly, as someone who's dealt with it a lot, I can tell you that if you need to, message More Phenomenal and just tell us, hey, just keep me in your thoughts or whatever, because I know what it's like to go through a lot of issues, and honestly, I can't say this enough. You are not alone.
Right. And the same goes for LR4 guys. If you ever, if you're ever down, you can always, message us, talk to us. We always love hearing from you guys. And and speaking of LR4, very quick before I forget, at Power Morphicon, I plan on filming a documentary film that I have came up with a title. This came to my mind. I thought it's it's called LR4 Presents a More Phenomenal Experience, because it involves, it will have the actors. I want to have do interviews with the cast members like Deborah. I would like to get her involved. And
Bring the right mic this time.
yeah, and also I like to get the whoever's going to be at PMC. I'm going to be trying to film as much as I can to get a good amount of fans to get involved, to talk, about their experience on Power Rangers and what really got them inspired, doing what they do with your fan page or anything like that, or even fan films.
I'll be there one way or another, man.
Yeah, so we'll
At least
do.
one of us will.
We'll talk about that. Even we'll talk about past seasons, saying what we remember and everything, because this has been that's what Power Rangers is all about. It's very more phenomenal. It's an experience. So hey.
And before we get to the morph, Lance and Nate are right. You are not alone, and there are other. It's not just the Power Ranger fandom. Anywhere you can find support for autism.
Right.
And like they said, suicide is like a solution to a temporary problem. Because I almost went through them one time when I was 12 because of the bullying. But thanks to my family and friends, I've now become like a very strong person now. And thanks to Power Rangers because it kind of helped mold me to who I am today. And yes, Nate, I know, thanks.
You got every
Saw
bond.
those in the
There's
background.
everyone
We're
else.
envious. We
Thanks
get it.
to
And,
Lightspeed Rescue over here, right, Amanda?
There's this
You're lucky I'm not giving you a gesture right now.
there's this
But anyway,
inspiration
before the
video
morph,
out there.
the one last thing I want to say is that I do have a Facebook page and a Facebook group. One is called Golden Blessings, and the other one is called Amanda's Autistic Point of View. I will post them in the YouTube link and some of the other posts on Facebook and other places that we've been sharing this broadcast with, and hopefully that by many years or so we can help get people to understand autism awareness and to help stop discriminating against one another.
Yeah.
And with that, how about we get to a morph?
I think it's time for something.
I don't have mine on, but I can still know how to do it because we did it at Lexington with Deborah.
All right, let me do some stretch.
Got my morph on. Let me turn it on.
Pre-morph stretch.
I've been sitting for too long anyway. We got to stretch these arms.
Can I just say
I gotta stretch out.
I'll be the referee.
Okay, I have to take my headset out. Okay, ready? Okay, ready?
Everybody ready?
Yes.
Ready.
Time for.
Best season ever!
And of course Deborah wins because she's an original Time Force Ranger.
And she's wearing her morpher. She gets bonus points.
Thanks everybody for watching, and spend the rest of April spreading autism awareness. And
Thanks for having me.
Bye, guys.
Later.
Bye.
Take it easy, guys. Good seeing you all. Take care.